What's up, guys? I am back home. Today is the third day of January 2018. How is everyone? Finally, I am back with full speed, great internet connection. Back in my home studio. Things are good, guys. So let the stream populate a little bit more. What's up, people? What's up? Alright, guys, so today we're gonna have a quick discussion about the year. What do we plan to do? And also the strategy that is gonna pave the way at least for the next 3 months. Okay, because Chinese New Year is on the 16th of February, so I'm not very sure whether the whole market is going to be enthusiastic. But let's take note on a few key factors first before we step into the strategy. So now we have our market cap at 677 billion with a Bitcoin dominance of 37%. Now, yesterday in my premium chat, I have no idea why I did that, but I just decided to make a call, a very bold call, to sell alts. As you know, I'm someone who is very pro about the altcoin space because I believe that there's always better technology, there's always better teams, there's always direction in these projects. So I just decided, you know what? As painful as it is, and Happy New Year to each and every one of you guys, as much as I would like to stay invested in altcoins, and you know I'm a big altcoin fan, I very rarely make these calls, man. And yesterday was just, that one of those days where you just have that inkling intuition on, you know what? Bitcoin is just so low in terms of dominance, not in terms of price, but in terms of dominance, that if I don't make this call, okay, from a technical perspective, a lot of people will be really pissed off because I have this intuition. I told myself it is best to always just put it out there and see how the market reacts, right? Or how the people react. So I told myself, okay, being that from a technical perspective, the Bitcoin price is kind of like sub 14, has been consolidating between the 12.8 to about 14,000. I said, why not? Let's just put it in and see what happens. So what I did was I just basically made that call, and I basically let everyone sell a portion of their altcoins, okay, when it was sub 14. And because of that action, a lot of people actually saved, they were able to enjoy the small little uptrend in the Bitcoin price. Now, is Bitcoin going to potentially go up back to 15,000 and above? Let's have a few key observations. So from a volume perspective, I would say that the volume is starting to creep up. And as you notice that there's a new consolidation period, there's a new consolidation portion that's happening right now, which is, and we're looking at the 1 hour charts here. So it seems to be consolidating at the 14,750. So I personally have been invested in Quantum for a very long time. I had to sell off 50% on my Quantum, not because I'm not going to buy back, but I'm actually going to be re-entering after the airdrop, because after the airdrop, a lot of people who were just here for the freebies are definitely going to dump it and then after that, they may not have any idea about the long-term perspective of where quantum is going, so they are just here only for the airdrop. So after the airdrop, I anticipate basically a drop back down to, say, maybe maybe back down, maybe a 20% drop, because quantum is actually more sustainable in terms of what it has already established. So I ain't going anywhere. I just basically reduce my exposure, and I'm going to be coming back in. And so far, that has actually helped my portfolio a lot. So I liquidated half of that quantum and then decided to enter into BTC, which has been playing out very, very nicely. The airdrop is actually today. So I'm not sure exactly what time do they take the snapshot, but I'm sure that you can say it. Okay, so if, let's say, for example, we see BTC like start to trend upwards again, at least we can safely say, we've got a portion for us to accumulate, at least we have a portion of BTC to react with. So I have this portion of BTC that I re-entered that I entered with at below 13,500 USD. Currently now it's been serving me very well. At the same time also, this BTC will be used for various things. For example, I'll be accumulating with regards to decentralized exchanges, and of course focusing on the quantum ecosystem. Now there are people who are of course interested in other ecosystems, for example the NEO ecosystem, or they'll be interested in the Cardano ecosystem. So these are probably the themes that you might want to consider. Now I'm not as familiar as with the Cardano ecosystem or the NEO ecosystem. I know that the NEO ecosystem is starting to take place. That is why we have NEO close to $100. Now, if we compare those two projects, okay, in terms of being out there, I would still go with Quantum. NEO is going to be starting to establish its ecosystem very soon. So those who have been doing a dollar cost average strategy for both cryptocurrencies, I think it has been serving you extremely well. So if you're looking at Quantum, for example, I am just going to go and do my dollar cost averaging strategy, which has been serving me very well. So I'm not going to change anything. So for Quantum, let's just say we use Binance. Okay, so as you can see, I sold off most of my Quantum at the high when there was the initial pump. So I sold some at 42, I sold some at 38, none at 35. So basically it was around this whole period. And then after that we have this dip because of BTC going up very strongly. This dip isn't that much, to be honest. It's about maybe 9 to 10%. So it's not the discount that I was looking for. I'm looking for something more in the range of at least 30%. So 30% is 0.0029. That would be like kind of my anticipated low ball figure for Quantum re-entry. So that's my strategy. Now another strategy, okay, so my Quantum strategy is basically a whole year thing. It's not going anywhere. It's just like every month, whenever the salary comes in or something like that, or whatever pay that I get from all that I do, I will basically dump it into Quantum. Just very simple. For the fact that the QEA is not announced yet, when that is announced, I'm pretty sure that that momentum and that hype is going to push Quantum to the next level, which is obviously at least above 60 bucks, right? But I'm not here to anticipate price or predict prices. I'm just here to call it as I see it. Because when the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance was announced, that's when it caused the cryptocurrency, at least Ethereum, to skyrocket. So, and at that time, Ethereum hadn't established much in terms of technicals or even established itself, but it just was one of the first smart contract platforms that got out of the gate back in 2015. And they really skyrocketed in February, which is early Feb. So I don't anticipate much action at the moment. I'm just only anticipating in terms of how we can move forward in this space. Now, there are people who are very interested in Dragon Chain, DRG. Let's see. There doesn't seem to be Dragon Chain here on Coinergy. Shucks. Wait, let me see. So okay, anyway, before we end off, let's just make sure that we understand one thing, that Bitcoin, in terms of dominance, is already technically at the all-time low. So the only way that it could go is obviously maybe it could go down south more, but I anticipate actually it should be bouncing back up, at least back to the I think so anywhere from 48%. So that means 48% would be a good bounce, right? And in terms of Dragon Chain, I think Dragon Chain is it's gonna be one of those coins that I heard that it's very it's backed up by Disney. So I'm not entirely sure is that very accurate, but nonetheless, it's one of those things. Hey, what's up, MoMA? So it's one of those cryptocurrencies, same thing that you can build things upon it, right? So if you can build things upon it, then it would be all about how many exchanges can they be listed on, and also how many partnerships are they able to form. For example, how close is the team how good is the team in terms of marketing or delivering in terms of its technicals? What kind of protocol are they actually delivering to the space? Because anybody right now can actually copy an existing smart contract platform project and call it their own, right? So we have to observe when their mainnet hits, what kind of deliverables are they going to offer. So it's now a competition of the smart contract platforms. That's one. The next one is decentralized exchanges. So the decentralized exchange that I'm gonna highlight at least to the people out there is Kyber Network, and also from the grapevine, people are talking about Loopring. So Kyber Network was well, they don't have anything like right now because their mainnet is going to be launched, I think, Q1 or Q2, right? So what is it about decentralized exchanges? Apparently, it is an exchange where you do not have to put your coins, right? Right now, as you know, when we use centralized exchanges, we run the fear of actually getting hacked or the exchange getting hacked because it's a centralized server. Now, because it's a centralized server, there are order books and you can see basically the volume, you can put limit orders. Now, for a decentralized exchange, everything is run by smart contracts. So theoretically, you do not need to put your coins on the exchange. All you have to do is basically engage in a smart contract. From then, the smart contract will execute based on the best price that these reserve managers are going to maintain that particular coin. So it's going to be a very interesting thing, because I personally have not used a decentralized exchange because I'm very used to at least picking my entry points. So I would say that people who are not very familiar with technical analysis would really seek comfort in this, because they are here to buy their favorite coin, or at least they want to own their favorite coin with, say, using Bitcoin and wanting to get more Aeon or Neo or Dragon Chain and whatnot. So there has to be the supply first. So these reserve managers have to go and purchase Kyber Network tokens, and then from then it kind of sustains the price and the functionality within the platform. So this is one thing. Also, Vitalik is one of the advisors for the Kyber Network project. So because of all these little elements, and of course I noticed that the Kyber Network is starting its marketing campaign. So it's starting to spend some of that money on marketing at the moment. I noticed that it's appearing more on YouTube channels and whatnot. So based on this, we did do a call at the 14,000 Satoshi mark, and also I gave a call at around 18,000 Satoshis as well. This was of course before the premium group was started, right? Everything was all called out in legacy group. So right now, as you can see, the increase has been pretty significant from the 14,000 mark. Let's go to the charts. So the 14,000 mark to, of course, the current price is about 61%. The thing about when I gave this call, I was thinking, firstly, the volume is very low, and in terms of the market cap, it's around 350 million. So there's a lot of room to grow. So look at, for example, Binance, right? Binance or BNB, their current market cap is actually quite high. So what about looking at Kyber Network? Kyber Network, once it starts to establish itself, there could be the potential of it hitting at least in the region of the 1 billion market cap and above. So in my opinion, especially an exchange with the current overall market cap of 677 billion, 4 to 5B in terms of a valuation for an exchange is nothing. So I'm looking at those factors as well. Also, for people who are looking at buying a cryptocurrency that is kind of below $5, which is really not something that I would always recommend, because buying something below $5 or buying something below $1 doesn't make it cheap. But when you look at exchanges across the board, for example, if you look at Waves platform, Waves platform is currently, I think you're looking at a price of maybe $12 or so. And of course, Waves has a higher market cap in comparison to everything else. So let's say if we compare Waves. Let's look at Waves. So Waves at the moment. So we have Waves currently at 1.3 billion, okay, in terms of market cap. But of course, Waves is a much more established platform. Also, you can have your ICOs or you can create stuff on Waves, which also gives another additional excitement layer. Another one that is already a barter DEX, which is Komodo. Komodo was something that I covered quite a few months back. And we interviewed the team, and at that time I think it was only below $2, and right now it's $10.16. So it's actually quite crazy, guys. So let's look at Komodo, and Komodo is already 1B, so it's already become a unicorn. And we can look at BNB. BNB at the moment in terms of market cap is already 873 million in terms of market cap. And in terms of the price, it is 883. So you see where I'm going with this. If you look at, then of course we have the infamous KuCoin, which still has, it's a little bit more established, but in terms of because it also has a referral program, and I think if you are holding KuCoins, you get a little bit of discount. But in terms of exchange, I'm not very sure how many coins. I don't personally use KuCoin. I'm more of a Binance user. So Binance at the moment has ample and sufficient liquidity. I noticed that KuCoin doesn't have enough liquidity for most of the cryptocurrencies. So I prefer to get people invested in an exchange that at least has enough liquidity. Does that make sense? Because as people become wealthier, they are able to put 1 to 2 Bitcoins into each trade. Now, if you were to recommend an obscure cryptocurrency exchange that no one is using, then firstly you run the risk of not having the right bid to offer prices. That means the spreads are not tight. They are actually very, very far apart, meaning that you're having a lot of slippages. That means you're paying more than you should. Well, most people, they don't really think about all this kind of stuff, because if they believe that a coin is going to go say 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, who cares whether I'm paying 2 to 3% per trade? Actually, if you accumulate all these things along the way, you're actually paying way more than you should. So having an exchange that has ample liquidity and tighter spreads is the first thing that you have to look out for. So Binance is my personal recommendation. By the way, I'm not like promoting Binance or anything like that, but because I'm using it right now, and because Bittrex has a lot of issues in terms of, people having their accounts locked down and whatnot. I know that there are certain people who are still using Bittrex because it still offers a whole range of cryptocurrencies, but I've swapped to Binance, and also Binance has a very nice app to use. It's very easy to use, and so far during my holiday I was using Binance. So that being said, back to Kyber Network. So Kyber Network at the moment is it's 339 with a market cap of 454. Now, I'm always about the delivery. I was personally quite shocked when I gave the call at 14,000 Satoshis and I decided to do a dollar cost averaging. I was really upset when I could not even accumulate more, because I thought that I had the shit, to be honest. I thought I had the shit, guys. And I thought that I could have some time to accumulate, being that the mainnet will only be out in Q2. So theoretically, I have 3 months, and in the crypto space, 3 months is like an eternity. So I thought, okay, so every week I would maybe put in, 10,000, just just every week around that same price. And now look at the price, is already 22,000. It is really shit. And you know what's the most painful thing? It still doesn't have enough volume. If you go to Binance and you look at the 24-hour volume, it's really nothing. It's actually quite hard to fill up the order, and I purposely have to kind of make the candle go up. It kind of sucks. So at the moment, I just want to make sure that you guys kind of understand where I'm getting at, and I'm looking at various. I'm still looking at the same shit, guys. Look, I am here to basically tell you, especially if you're very new, look at the core cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, although it's shit, people still buy it because why? That's the very first thing that they hear and talk about, especially after Christmas and New Year. We are using the market psychology. People will still buy Bitcoin first, Litecoin, or Ethereum, because that's all they kind of know at the moment. Because when you research, these are going to be the top 3 searches. Then potentially there is going to be Ripple. I'm not much of a Ripple fan. But I know that a lot of people made huge amounts of money, especially people who have been holding it from below $1 or slightly below $1, and Ripple suddenly kind of popped because there's anticipation that it's going to pop up in Coinbase, which I'm not very sure whether that's going to happen. If it's going to happen, great. But those who have missed the boat have already missed the boat. There are always other opportunities. So if we look at Ripple, okay, if we look at Ripple at the moment, as you can see, it has already had its run and it's currently consolidating at the moment. So my advice is don't touch it, because at the end of the day, you are coming in when the hype has kind of died down. If you wanted to accumulate Ripple by some magic, it's just like me calling out Kyber Network, right? By some magic, you called it here, great. You enjoyed the run up. So same thing. If you are someone who is late, you're looking and you're asking me, should I buy Ripple? The straight answer is no. You're accumulating it when no one really kind of wants it. If it's anything, I usually see corrections happening, or at least you are only having a very tight range to work with. So if you ask me, if you wanted to trade Ripple, I would say, well, trading it between the 120,000, wait, no, 120, sorry, the 120,000 Satoshi mark to the 150,000 Satoshi mark would be a good space to work with. Now, another thing that we need to highlight is, of course, Ethereum. Ethereum has Plasma happening very soon. Well, I'm not sure how soon is Plasma gonna appear, but let's take a look. So everything in relevance to BTC at the moment, because you want to accumulate as much of BTC as possible. As we know that the US dollar is currently going to the shit, everyone will be ramping up and putting in more of their fiat into this space. I guarantee you we are more or less going to hit a 1 trillion market cap, or else the CBOE and all these futures will not appear if there's not enough ample liquidity, or they felt that the timing was way off. So since that you have the whole Bitcoin futures up and running, who knows, there may be Ethereum futures, who knows, there may be Litecoin futures, but let's not speculate on that. Let's just anticipate that the top 3 or most liquid will have their futures listed very soon. And when that happens, of course, it's going to create more emphasis in this space. So if you're looking at getting Ethereum, well, it kind of had its run up already, but against BTC, as you know, there already is a retracement, so you can probably pick some up, and only if you're interested, probably at the lower half at this point, which is 0.0559. I think this is a kind of good level, a good level to kind of accumulate Ethereum. Now, from a US dollar perspective, of course, Ethereum has went through the roof. It's currently at 850 US dollars from the time when I was calling it at 300 US dollars. So now, if you're asking me, should I go in when everything is so expensive? Let's just admit one thing. If we are going to see a 1 trillion market cap, we have to see the dominance go up. Again, that means you're going to see all your altcoins getting owned as always. That's a fact that, you know, as an experienced person in the space, with running an experienced group, we all know when the Bitcoin, when the Bitcoin strength starts to come up, the beast rears its head, all our altcoins get smashed. So that is why, back to the time when I said, just few hours ago, or at least 8 hours, 7 hours ago, I made that call. It was brilliant at that time. Now the only question is, will it play out? That means, will Bitcoin go back up to the 15,000 and above? And if it goes back up to 15,000 and above, that means we have an opportunity to accumulate our favorite altcoins. So bear in mind, guys, when you are going to invest in this space, make sure you have a strategy. For example, maybe you can take a 30, 30, 30. So what is a 30, 30, 30? 30% in Bitcoins, 30% in altcoins, and 30% in cash. Why do you need cash? Because when you have cash, you can also accumulate very cheap Bitcoin. Don't forget that cash is also an important factor. A lot of people... Crap. Okay, give me a second. Always some shit disturbing me, man. Okay, so as I was saying, so for those who are new to this space, the 30-30-30 strategy, 30-30-30 strategy would be one of the best. So firstly, 30% in Bitcoin, 30% in cash, and 30% in altcoins. Now, if you are someone who has never purchased an altcoin before, a very good way to start is just start easy, start simple, start with the coins with the best fundamentals and most established. Never buy into the hype, because when you buy into the hype, right, more often than not, you're always late because you're new, right? You have not figured out where are the news resources that you can quickly tap onto. You're still new to reading white papers, you're still new to extracting information, and when you're slow to extract information, you will always be left holding the bag, and at the same time, you will definitely not have a very good experience. So for people who are new, all right, dirty strategy. Right, so guys, keep it simple for yourself. Right, you want to just be able to stay invested in this space. What about the 10% left? There's no 10%. 30, 30, 30. Oh yeah, there is the 10%, right? So 30, 30, 30. When you talk, well, actually I mean 33%, 33%, 33%. So basically, there's no 10%. It is cash, Bitcoin, and altcoins. So your altcoin portfolio should actually be a very small portfolio. It should be no more than 5 cryptocurrencies, so that you are able to manage the strategy. Because if you have too many cryptocurrencies, the problem is you're going to be left wondering whether this is going to do well and whether that is going to do well. And I know that there are people who come into the chat, and they usually get very overwhelmed because the chat is moving at a very, very fast pace, and they have like 20 cryptocurrencies. Okay, when you have 20 cryptocurrencies, honestly, I salute you, because I don't even know why you're even invested in 10. Because I know why you're invested in 10. You're invested in 10 because you've heard this coin is gonna go up. This coin is gonna go up. You went to this forum and you saw 2 people saying that this coin is go up. The next thing you know, you have 20 cryptocurrencies, all with $100 each, and you're wondering which one's gonna pop. Now, that is the wrong strategy to approach. Let me just clear the air, being that it's the new year, you want to have a good strategy going forward. Make sure you cut it down to at least 5 that you can focus fire. And when I say focus fire, means that you're going to be able to invest or trade confidently in. Now, this space is very unique in a sense that you don't have to always look at everything from a short-term trading perspective. You can look at it from the fact that if you are looking to invest and grow your portfolio, you want to make sure that firstly, the coin does have some damn fundamentals and at least a solid team to deliver. So if you can do that, if you went in on a trade for that particular coin and it goes wrong, you still can sleep. That is the most important thing, because when you're new, you don't want to be emotionally in distress. If you're going to be emotionally distressed all the time, you're not going to concentrate on your lifestyle. That means you're always going to be focused on looking at your damn blockfolio, and you cannot enjoy life. Because I'm someone who doesn't trade a lot. In fact, if you ask me, I'm more of an investor, and I'm someone who trades very, very little. So that being said, that also applies to your taxation. Now, if you're a US citizen, we all know that cryptocurrencies will be taxed on per trade. That meaning that if you only have even the intention of transferring your cryptocurrency, you're going to be taxed already. For example, what does that mean? So from, let's say your fiat, your US dollars, you bought into Bitcoin, but you know Bitcoin has a congested network. You want to only send it to your friend, say, you know, across the state. You exchange it to Litecoin, and then from there, that is considered a trade already. You want to transfer that Litecoin to another account or even your own account just to save on fees, right? End of the day, you're actually paying more. So, and that trade alone, or that exchange alone, is considered a trade, and you have to file taxes on that. God bless America, man, because seriously, I don't know how you guys are going to handle it. Right here, right now, I just want to say that we don't have any taxation on cryptocurrencies here in Singapore. Usually when we talk about capital gains, we don't have any capital gains tax. It's actually pretty good. So that being said, just have to be careful. I mean, like, you know, you don't want to be in the situation where you're going to be put to jail. I know that the taxation laws are very strict in the US, so just be careful. So so looking at the strategy, like I said, it's very, very simple. If you're very new, just buy the top 3 coins, which is Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin, and you just approach with a dollar cost averaging strategy. Do that for 1 year. Even that will do pretty well, right? You don't have to go all around the block and start knowing like what is this and what is that. You really don't, all right? You just have to enjoy the process of being in cryptocurrencies. That's the whole idea. So, guys, I think that is more or less the end of the stream. If you have any questions, feel free to, of course, put them in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, because the Telegram group is up and running for the year of 2018, and also we have a Facebook group right now that we are gradually building on, and also there are going to be Facebook live videos for technical analysis and of course coin talk. These are the things that we're going to do more of this year, and at the same time also we're going to be focusing on the strategy. And you know, as you know, Crypto Grinders is always focused on giving you guys educational information about this space. We're not into the hype, we're not into the pumps, we're just here to make sure that people are able to have life-changing income. So guys, take care, God bless, and see you guys in the next video.